when the battle rages, who fights for you? Genesis chapter 14 reveals the answer. Abram hears that his nephew Lot has been captured, so he does what any good uncle would do. He gets 318 of his trained servants together. They arm themselves and set out to rescue Lot. But there's a problem. The enemy has a big army, and they're all really angry about this war. So Abram and his team have to fight their way to Lot. And let's just say it's a very, very intense fight. But Abram doesn't panic. He trusts that God will help him rescue Lot and get them back home safely. And guess what? It works. Abram recovers Lot, his family, and all their goods. And they're all so grateful that Abram came to rescue them. But this isn't the end of the story. As Abram is returning home, he meets a man named Melchizedek is the king of Salem and also a priest of the Most High God. He comes out to meet Abram and his army, and he brings bread and wine. He gives the bread and wine to Abram and his men, and then he gives Abram a blessing. And in this blessing, Melchizedek reminds Abram that God is in control. He says that Abram will become a great nation, and he will have many descendants. Now Abram is so grateful for this blessing, but he doesn't stop there. He continues on to the city of Sodom, and there he meets the king of Sodom, and the king offers Abram riches and treasures from the booty that was taken. But Abram refuses the riches, even though he's poor and his family really needs the supplies. Instead, he trusts that God will provide for him and his family. And look, God does provide for him and his family. So Abram leaves the riches behind and he journeys to the mountain called Carmel. And there he builds an altar to God. He gives God the first fruits of his livestock as a burnt offering, and he calls on the name of God. And God says, "Yes, I am God Almighty. Walk before me and be blameless." So Abram journeys from place to place, and he obeys God's command to walk before him. Would you have answered the call like Abram? Comment below. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's powerful chapter. And remember, God is in control. Trust His word, trust His promises. And always remember, Jesus loves you.